on that?
Sure, we've been talking about the U.S. We've been really looking at the U.S. market. I see that there's over $44 billion of Canadian money over the last 2 years into that U.S. market. And it's very interesting that the majority of that money has not been investigated. Nobody has done their diligence before they've gone over the border. They read a great article, they get excited about their brother's uncle's sister who's bought down there, but more importantly, they see that it's cheap. And the worst thing you can do is buy an investment, especially a piece of real estate, because it's cheap. What you need to look at is the underlying economic fundamentals. And when you do the analysis all the way from 1970 to today, you find that the U.S. real estate market is not cheap. As a matter of fact, it is right back to on trend, which means that now you're finding that the price that you're paying today is the price that it's actually supposed to be selling for. So sure, it's cheap next to the bubble prices, but at the end of the day, if you know what you're looking for and you know how to analyze, you will find that we are back to trend. We are not cheaper than it should be. Okay, here's the thing: is we're entering Canada's economic decade, right? The hurricane is twirling around us, and we're not immune to it. But what we need to know is that we've got food, fuel, fertilizer, and forestry, which we've talked about before on this site. And now we've got that fifth F, which is called fiscal foundation. And Canada, when you start to compare the economic fundamentals against most of the other countries in the world, you're seeing how stable we are from a foundational point of view. And that foundational point of view will allow us to weather the storm much better than others. Now, let's take a look at the in-migration and now the economic fundamentals of the provinces across the country, and you are going to see that the West is going to outperform economically because there's more food, fuel, fertilizer, and forestry out in that region. And the Ontario market is seeing lots of immigration, and what the Western states are seeing, or the Western provinces are seeing, is that more in-migration from other provinces. The job growth is out west, which means it's going to attract more population, which means there's going to be more rental demand, and at the same time you're going to see more increase in values on real estate. If you're going to be investing in Ontario, you need to have a long timeline, because it is going to have to weather this economic storm that's going around the world more than out west. Now, that being said, Ontario is not a one contiguous market. You've got the cities like Hamilton, you've got the cities like Kitchener, Waterloo, Cambridge. You've got those areas that are going to outperform GDP, population growth, and income growth and other places in Ontario. So make sure when you're looking at Ontario, you are looking at it in little pieces. I suggest you look at the Barrie-Orillia growth corridor. I think you look at Kitchener and Cambridge as your two, and of course Hamilton as a great spot for growth. Look at where Toyota is going to spend $500 and something million revamping their plants, therefore creating and stabilizing the jobs. That's where you want to look, rather than lining up around the block thinking that you're going to get a great deal buying a condo. When the U.S. market continues to go through its turmoil, we are not immune. The nice thing is it's not 1970. 1970, they sneezed, we caught a cold, we would go into recession just alongside of them. As we found out in this last big, deep recession that they went through, we kind of dipped into recession but came out of it, because we have a much more diverse market now, and also the demand for our commodities is also very strong around the world. That doesn't mean that around the world is buying from us. It means that the price of our commodities when we're selling to our regular customers is higher, therefore more profitable, therefore more job creating. So now that we've diversified a lot more in this country economically, we've got a strong foundation. We've actually, I don't know if you saw this article recently, where we've become the great white tax haven, the great white north. Here we are, and we've become considered a tax haven for the wealthy. We're also becoming the place for people to park their money in this time of turmoil. We are seeing billions of dollars around the world coming here because it's safe, secure, and most importantly, boring. And that's what you want in your investments, is you want a boring investment. This chasing money is gonna lead you off the end of a cliff. So that's what the nice thing about Canada is. We're not immune, but we're starting from a much stronger position than Spain or Portugal or UK or US or Japan or Vietnam, Australia even. We're all in a much better place.